Are you doing it?
Sure. This is Two WIT, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Melinda Smith. Wow.
Ooh, I didn't know we were having a rap battle. This is Kristi Campbell, and I am not prepared. Listen, we're doing this. We're triumphing over technology, and we're just going to record it.
We're just going to go with it. I was grateful to hear that many other podcasters have the same problem. So I was a guest on a podcast today, and I go over to her house, and she was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "What?" She said, "I did not have the mics plugged into my mixing board for one of her interviews. So basically the person was sitting on the other side of the room and the computer, like the laptop, was trying to pick it up. So it sounds like she's talking from way over here." She's like, "What do I do?" And I said, she's like, "We already recorded in the beginning that this is a bad recording and deal with it." And I was like, "Everyone will be fine. It's no big deal. It happens."
I'm going to be on another podcast tomorrow.
What?
We're just doing it up over here.
I feel like we haven't shared our spots, our talent. Where are you going to be on?
Elements Cloud, the lovely Alyssa has a podcast. Okay. Yeah. So we totally talked about what we're going to talk about, and I have since forgotten, but it's going to be great.
What is her podcast focused on? Is it documenting your org? Because that's amazing.
These are all great questions.
Thank you.
They host them through their website. So you could go to elements.cloud in the blog section, and you could see the podcast recordings.
Nice. Mine is like a hard left. That's not true. I just wanted to use that phrase.
Yeah, I mean, it's valid.
So the woman I was talking to, her son and my daughter in the same class, and she is a musician and comedian. And she is one of the two founding members of the Pump and Dump Show, which is a musical comedy show about being a mom. And it's freaking hilarious, and it's gotten big. So now that they have a cast that they have brought on in LA and New York, and she has a podcast, and they have this Band of Mothers app that they're launching, which, I mean, we can talk ad nauseum. It's so awesome. It has a lot of like social media features, but instead of having these algorithms that really restrict a lot of people that are trying to get their content out there, it just is what it is. There's no restriction or suppressions, and you can just, have a group on there. And so they always do a podcast or a weekly about either they do something fun, like a lot of their titles are, "Can you please explain self-care to me? Can you please explain essential oils to me?"
Mm-hmm.
Or they just talk to other moms and entrepreneurs. So we got to talking one day, and she's like, "I really want to have you on the show, but what do you think we could talk about or something?" And I, kind of talked about, I was like, "I don't know, this, that, I have a podcast. We do a women focused conference." And then it kind of rolled into, talking about Trailhead and like Super Mums and Mom relaunch. And she was like, "That'd be so great. Like, there are moms out there that are trying to figure out, like, how do I get back in the workforce without feeling like I need to go back to school or whatnot." So that's kind of what we talked about. And I do hope I did the Super Mums and Mom relaunch some service. I mentioned them. I mentioned Trailhead. I mentioned how to get into like a local user group, and, basically about the community in general of, how we're really there for each other. So yeah, it was kind of fun. It'll be on in a couple weeks, and
that's good. A different flavor, but similar vibe.
Yeah. It was very cool. Look at us. We're expanding our brands.
Oh my gosh. So intentional. Yeah, I think from the element side, I think it's a little bit kind of like, people through Salesforce, that you're talking about Salesforce stuff, but also just kind of behind the product. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah. Look at us.
Branching out in the world.
Yeah, I liked it. She had like an official setup, like a mic stand with mics attached. That's how it worked.
I was really impressed. She had a really official setup. with
She
a
had this
mic
cool so
stand.
outside of her house, she has this, like, refurbished shed that is, like, her office and podcasting studio, and it
Mm.
has, like, twinkly lights and, like, this zen feel. I told her, I said, "How do you ever leave here?" She's like, I don't know." And has a TV. I was like, "You put a TV in here, I would never leave this little comfy space." But
Melinda wants a she shed.
I really do. I want a she shed so bad. She says, make sure you talk directly into the mic because they're regular one direction or unidirection
Mm.
mics. And I was like, oh, what does that mean? I was like, I've got that blue snowball. And she's like, yeah, those are multi-directional. And I said, so just like it sounds? She's yep. One directional, multi-directional. I was like, so I'm really smart.
I took some classes in broadcasting, no big deal.
And I was like, so anyways, is this, do I talk into this? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Luftwaffe.
Stop. That's not a thing.
I mean, it was once. Not even going to go into why. It was.
So, how's it going? Let's get an update. How's breaking pills open?
My ADHD meds. Good. So after I got over the hump of, oh my God, what the fuck is this? I can't take these. I went from that to I take the allotment that is dosed. And then I was like, I think these wear off at 3 now. But it is just better. So much better. I feel calmer and whole and like everything is approachable. There's been, client work that's been, some has been a little dramatic and some has been a little not even say overwhelming, just had a lot to do. And not once did I have that thing where you have that anxiety that turns into shutting down, that turns into extra anxiety because you're not doing the thing, that turns into kind of a little self-loathing because you're not doing the thing. That is like I stare at the wall or a social media feed until it's 10 and I should do the things. I just do them. I just do the thing. So it's really good. I'm very content that I'm taking them. I think that they are good for now. I don't know how. I've never been on drugs before. Well, sorry. I've never been on ADHD drugs before. Let's clarify.
Do you take them on the weekends as well?
I do, because my thought was maybe I'm supposed to just keep regular, like keep a normalcy. The only thing I notice that kind of makes me giggle is I take them in the morning and then I go work out. So depending on the temperature of my gym or my yoga, if it's too hot, I get really like tingly. Like I break out in like goosebumps. Like I'm cold. And I giggle because I'm like, what is happening? I'm not cold. And it's actually, it feels great. It's just weird. It's just like extra tingles.
Of all the weird side effects.
Yeah. I was like, all right.
May experience diarrhea and workout tingles.
So true. I was like, how do I feel about this? I'm like, oh, I don't hate it. It feels good. It's just weird to have
hair loss. Extra large goosebumps. Okay.
I will say that if you had asked me a month ago, I'd be like, I don't know. I don't want to take medication that I have to take forever. I've tried Adderall before and that seemed crazy to me. I just didn't feel right. So I would have said, nah. But I gave it a go and now it just feels better. Like I just feel better. And I'm not sure if I told you on the show before, but I had a little bit of a hang up, I would say in the first couple weeks because I felt good and it felt wrong to feel good. Because any other time I felt like good, it's like, in the past it's been drugs or, I have a little buzz from alcohol or something. And I know it's not directly related, but that's how my brain was telling me. It was like, oh, you feel really good. That's usually an extracurricular. You shouldn't like this. So my last therapy appointment, I told her, I was just, really honest. And I said, I guess I'm a little confused because I really like this. And then I think that, am I going to abuse this? And blah, blah, blah. And she was like, wait. So you're mad at yourself for feeling good? And I was like, well, yeah, because that is usually been like a crutch or
because you're avoidance
or like doing a thing that is like, alcohol or drugs. And she said, she's like, this might come out wrong, but hear me out. She's like, I'm not saying that, the years in the past that you had done drugs is okay, but if your chemical balance, your brain has needed something, that it makes sense that a situation where an upper type drug made you feel calmer and normal, that there was a piece of that that made sense of what your brain was missing. She's like, no, of course not all of it. And I was like, oh, not the anhydrous ammonia? No, everyone shouldn't have that? No batteries? Lithium batteries? You're not supposed to? Of course she laughed, but I said, I guess I just feel weird because I shouldn't like something that, is. And she's like, look, this is heavily regulated. This is regulated by the government. You're not on something. She's like, you are actually on a non-stimulant medication. And she's like, do you think you'll abuse it? And I was like, I don't know how, like, what, take 5 and feel crazy extra tingly? I was like,
Yeah.
no. I said, I guess I just was confused that I could feel good and normal and whole and happy, that it wasn't like an alcohol or a drug related thing. So she helped me kind of see that was not a thing, which was helpful. It was kind of, I don't know, kind of eye opening.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense though that, like she's saying, in your actions before you realized what truly was going on, that you were trying to find what your brain needed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always equated to some of my past behaviors to choices and da da da. Not that's not true, but like there was
Right.
plenty of other things I didn't get into because I just didn't like it. I lived in Seattle. Weed was just not my jam. Shrooms were just not my jam. But like other uppers like were, and I didn't, like we talked about, I didn't really respond like some of the other crazy people that I knew. I was just a lot more like, ooh, I want to write in my journal, or I'm going to paint, or I was a lot more calm than others. Yeah. So that's the drug convo. It's
I
been
talked to my
good.
therapist about you inspiring me to want to try again. It's interesting too that you mentioned that like the same dose treats you differently after a while, because
Mhm.
I do feel like there was some of them that I had that cracked out feeling once and was like, now. So I may have to revisit some
I mean, I didn't
options.
want to continue on. I was like, I don't like this day one. Bleh. And I'm like, if this doesn't fix me in day one, I don't want to do this. But I just wanted to try. So her diagnosis or her prescription was take 1 for a little bit. So I just didn't. I just broke it open. And then when I felt like I didn't feel weird or banana pants, I stepped it up. And then once I got used to 1, I stepped up to 2 fairly easily. And then
Mm.
I feel if I though I and the other cool thing is like if I forget, it's not like, oh my God, everything's a mess. I just a little bit more distracted, but I definitely don't feel like, oh God, if I miss it, I am a completely different person that can't do anything. And same being said, there are still days that I have a lot to do that I'm like, wow, I'm really not as focused as I could be because I'm trying to do too many things at once.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a human thing.
Right.
Like, yes, I'm focused, but I'm also super focused here and doing a witness success thing and trying to make sure I get all these doctor's appointment made. So I mean, like, that's fair to be like, all right, I'm kind of all over the place, but that's by design. Like, I'm doing that to myself.
Well, I think it almost makes it harder when it's like, so it's interesting your perspective of, if I don't take it, it's not the end of the world. Like, I just notice subtle differences. But then it's hard for me to feel like it is making an impact because it's only
Mhm.
subtle differences, instead of like, I took an Adderall and cleaned my whole house, like that kind of a black and white, which I'm sure we've talked about before. And I
You
need
know,
to just get over it and try
well, maybe
again.
if you don't look for that, maybe you look for the subtlety. I will say that the two things I noticed first was that low level anxiety of, ugh, I need to get this done. I need to get this done. And then I don't. Like, I want to do it. I fundamentally want to, but I don't. Or I choose to put laundry, something that is not there. And then I just get that frustration, that inner frustration. So that's gone, which is little. I feel like it's subtle if you don't recognize it, but that's huge to not have this constant beating up on myself or low level anxiety for not doing the thing I'm supposed to do.
Did we talk
Can
about
I still get distracted? Yeah, like totally. But
I feel like you're about to make a second point, so I want to let you do that before I totally
I
distract you.
mean,
Keep going.
if I tried and do 3 other things, Yes, I will. My medication will kick in, and I will hyper focus. I'm not hyper focused, but I'll focus on doing something else. Like if I, it's not like I take the Strattera and it says do Salesforce things. I can
Right.
still do other shit, but I have a better ability to get myself a cup of water, sit down, and be like, oof, okay, this process builder is a mess. You know what? I'm just going to open the first node, and that is a very different approach to fuck. This process builder is a mess. I'm going to look at Facebook. Okay. No, let me look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get some coffee. Fuck, I really need to do this. I need to do this. You know what? I need to eat something. Clearly I need to eat something. And those little subtleties are gone. Where I'm like, all right, let's just do it. Let's just open it. Like that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Even though it's super subtle.
Yes. And I'm not good at, I need to be better about evaluating those types of things. Because I'm going to try medication again. I'm going to say it out loud. I'm going
Yay.
to do it.
All the drugs.
I guess. I mean, I definitely notice when I don't take my depression medication. So, but that's a whole different ball of wax too. You've got to be much more careful and titrate down, right? And all that stuff. You can't just like ADD medication.
That's
You
true.
can kind of like, some people decide not to take it on weekends because you can just, if you don't have things you have to do and have to have
and
structure.
There's one that she had suggested, not Abilify, not Wellbutrin, maybe Wellbutrin, that has like other effects, like a little antidepressant, good for ADD, but those are the ones that you can't just stop. And I told her specifically, I don't want that. That makes me feel overwhelmed. I want a thing that's in and out of your system should you choose. And that's what I have. So yes, if you get something that's like that, then you're right. Because and depression medication is different, and you shouldn't just rip yourself off of it. Like that's a very different situation, and these are not like that. But and maybe there's other kinds that you could have, but
Yeah,
I didn't want that. I had all kinds of preconceived notions and things that I was telling her what to do as a non-doctor
ooh,
that's
and
done
maybe she
minimal.
knew better.
It's weird. I feel like all of her education was more than my assumptions. It's very weird.
And
Super
rumors
weird.
I read on the internet. All right,
These
so
are my feelings.
we covered ADD. Oh, did we talk about that thing that was going around about how some people don't have an internal monologue?
I can't believe it. I just won't.
I just don't understand.
It's not real.
Like
how?
Even as you were saying, like talking through your mindset of like, I don't want to open this. I need to eat something. Like I can't imagine not. Like my comment on my friend's thing was like, I'm literally having an internal monologue about a comment I'm going to make on this article about people. Some people just
I've
don't.
told you before that if I watch enough TV with accents, my internal monologue, and it's typically like English. I don't usually get other accents, but if I get an accent from my monologue, it's usually English.
Or even just phrases.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I watch a lot of Schitt's Creek back to back, I start saying Schitt's Creek phrases because I want to be cool.
So, dear listeners, dear Abby, if you do not have an internal monologue, I am fascinated. And do you just go? Like you get up, you turn off the alarm? I don't understand. I just don't get it. Like I'm not judging. If I didn't have the pesky little voice, I'm not even sure.
I just can't imagine how do you overthink if you can't think out loud in your head?
Seriously, how do you have conversations that will never happen in the shower? Like what? How do you plan? How do you plan?
Or like driving? Do you just drive?
So
like you literally do one thing at a time?
I don't get it. It's fascinating. Though I will say my internal monologue is super funny a lot, and I'd be lonely without it.
Interesting. I mean, I definitely can get started out of my head and like well, but also even just the idea where like you would say something and it would remind me of something and I would come out like 5 reminders later and be like, and it's purple. And it just makes no sense.
Okay, so if you don't have an internal monologue, do you still have a thought process? Meaning maybe you don't talk it out, but you're building something and
I mean,
you
yeah, your
like,
brain still has to make connections and stuff. You're just not thinking them out loud to yourself. I don't know.
I guess maybe that's the question.
Maybe we
What is
need
the
to interview
definition
somebody.
of a thought process versus an internal monologue? Do
Mm.
you just say the thing as opposed to analyzing it? Because I have a hard time believing that no one has an internal voice at all. But I like how I say I have a hard time believing when A, I am not a neuroscientist. B, didn't read the article. You showed me just the headline. So I like how I'm like, I have a really hard time believing that.
It's fake news.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, Melinda, I'm officially cohabitating.
Yes.
And so far so good. I mean, my house is a super hot mess, but it was already like a mini hot mess. So now it's just two people's worth of a mess of a hot mess. But it'll all find its place.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. What does Axel think?
Axel's getting lots more pets. So
Mm.
we switch sides of the bed. So he's sleeping on the side I usually sleep on. And therefore he's getting woken up by the dog in the night. And I'm like, ah. I don't know if that's exactly why, but in my mind, that's why. And I'm like, sucker. It'll be interesting to see. It's been a while since I've had roommates, but I haven't had somebody who was like directly impacted by my decisions, you
Mhm.
know, like napping and, just certain, like, I haven't had the other night I was like ready to go to bed and he's like, why don't we do this in the bedroom, rearranging before we go to bed? And I'm like, that is an entirely valuable, wonderful suggestion that we should do. But I just was like grumpy that I didn't suggest it or something. I don't know, or that it changed I don't know.
Trajectory for
I
bedtime?
guess, right? But like it was a good thing to do. I felt better when it was done. Like it's
Yeah.
fine. But just having someone else around to be influenced by my decisions, it's been a few years. So getting back in the habit. But it's all good. And now I have a fish in my home.
Oh, I love fishies.
So here's a fun fact I didn't know. Well, I probably did know. I mean, we've talked about fish, but Brad knows a lot of fish things. We might get another tank. We went and looked at some fishies. We could have a bunch of pretty little guppies.
Yes.
That's just a happy word. Guppy.
Guppy. It is. And there is a cartoon called Bubble Guppies that's extra happy.
Bubble
Bubble Guppy.
guppies.
Yeah,
Um
my dad always had fish growing up when he always had angelfish. And I
mm,
remember very specifically, and this was in the house that him and my mom shared until, well, they split when I was 3, and I think he had it for maybe a year or 2 more. So it's a very early memory. And I remember him being so mad, but so patient because I fed the angelfish the entire fish food and I clogged
stop.
the filter and I killed the fish. Yeah. And I remember him being so upset, but so patient with me. And I was like, Daddy, I fed the fish.
Stop.
Yeah.
Now they've invented a thing that I thought was pretty well. Not now; it's probably been a while, but I'm not in the hip to the fish news. It's like a vacation feeder, so it
It's,
dissolves slower.
it's
What?
like Airbnb for fish.
No, it's like a slow dissolving sweet tart.
Oh, like a moss tart? They look like
Well,
moss, right?
no, it's like it looks like a sweet tart. And
Fine.
it dissolve. I don't know if they want to eat it. Is it like dogs, or if you just pour it all in there, they're not going to eat it all, and then they're going to
But
starve?
doesn't it look like moss when it starts to expand?
Maybe I didn't test it out. I just saw it in a
Oh,
plastic container in the store. I mean,
oh.
I guess it would have to flake off somehow. Anyway, let's not go down that road. We did look at some it is interesting though. Like we looked at some tropical plants or freshwater plants that you make a whole ecosystem. It's very
I always
trailhead
wanted a
like. Just
saltwater
kidding.
tank.
Well, apparently the fish are more expensive and it's more expensive to maintain.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yes.
learned. But
You're right.
he has a Jack Dempsey, which is apparently more combative, and
Is that an actor?
it ate all of its friends.
Oh, I had a fish do that once.
So he's a solo fish.
You remember those fish that are like their eyeballs are all extra bulgy on the side? They're usually black. I named him Bob. I put him in with my beta and went to dinner. Bob didn't make it till after dinner.
Oh no, beta, no, fighty fish.
I feel like I have a lot of dead fish stories. Maybe I'm not a good fish person to talk about fish.
Yeah, let's not do that then. That's a downer. Melinda.
I didn't mean for it to be, but all the stories I opened my mouth and I was like, let me tell you a story
Remember
about the
this
dead
time
fish I knew.
killed a fish? That's hilarious. Nope, but that was the one of the three things in the move that he was worried about. So we successfully transported the fish and all of its bacterial water.
Do you feel like I do that you can just sit and stare at a fish tank like a Christmas tree?
Spoiler alert, I do. Yeah,
Let's talk about me
that's
first.
kind of why I want more fish, so that like different ones are swimming around doing different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the story of how Kristi and Brad get a second fish tank full of fish. But probably we'll see. Who knows? Currently, we have one fish.
I'm team fish.
Okay, I'm a fan. I mean, they shed less, so
They don't need to be taken for walks.
nope, they don't. Their poop is part of the ecosystem.
All right, one more fish story that sounds like a dead fish story, but it's not. When I was little, I wanted to touch them, so I would take them out and hold them for a little bit and then put them back in the tank. But they didn't die at my accord. They probably didn't like it. I should have known fish. This is a really bad episode for fish.
Well, I mean, dude's doing all right.
What's his name?
Dude.
Oh, cool.
Literally. Yep, that was it.
Cool.
I feel like there's some kind of pellet segue I could make to your topic, but I mean, I don't even know what they eat. No, they eat
my bud.
cichlid. No, it is a cichlid. I don't know. There's too many words. I'm trying to learn new things. He gets 3 pellets a day. 2. I don't know. I'm gonna kill the fish now. That's gonna happen, and this is the moment, and it's gonna be.
It's a pellet segue.
You told me to go for it.
I did. I don't know what it eats. 2, 7? I don't know. Brad, I think the fish is dead.
I think they're bugs. I don't know what they are. Flakes. I had guinea pigs.
So we ran out.
I
put in Axel's food. It does slowly dissolve. They seem to like it.
Like moss?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't see it.
Oh, man. I don't even know. This is extra great because you're definitely not looking at the list of topics. And so I'm trying to remind you of what you said you were going to say.
Well, I didn't pull up the topics because I was trying to close a bunch of things so we didn't have to have bad recordings. But for y'all listening, we are on, this is the 6th version of Zencastr because it keeps failing. But I will edit it together and you'll never know the difference.
So thanks, Melinda.
Hey, sure.
Did you get something in the mail from me?
No.
Crap.
But I didn't check the mail today.
Okay.
I'll check tomorrow. And then I get on an airplane.
I hope it comes then.
I get to go to New York for work. Very excited about it. We're doing a later holiday party and another pro bono day in Arcus Town Hall. So I'm very excited. It'll be a quick trip. I wasn't going to make it out because I'm going to Amy's wedding this weekend and photographing it. So I was like, man, that's just going to be too much, going to Ohio on Friday because most people were going to be in New York like Tuesday day to Friday or something like that. And I was like, I can't make it happen. And then whoever came up with hashtag FOMO, I'm your demographic. So Slack, people were talking about things and it kind of, and it really wasn't just like, I'm going to miss out on the cool stuff. It was just that everyone's getting together. We're all remote.
Yeah. So
everyone gets to have this moment where we get to connect. And I reached out to our admin and I said, is everyone going to be there? And she's like, yeah. And I said, all right, I'm going to make it work. So Josh took off the weekend to make sure that he was home with the kiddos for the wedding. So I reached out to my dad and was like, can you help out? Because, like I said, Josh took the weekend off to make sure he was home. And he's like, well, what do I need to do? And I said, well, if Josh has to fly, will you just, pick her up and take her to school? And he's like, oh, sure. I haven't done that in a while. So I made it happen. And I think I was talking to Justin, and he's like, well, what changed? And I said, I asked for help. I was like, I got out of my own way. My dad's a competent human that can take my daughter to school. Like, it's fine. I was going to miss this because I thought it was too hard, which is silly
Oh, it's
because
not even overnight? Like Josh should be back in the evenings?
so he took Friday, Saturday, Sunday to make sure he's home while I'm in Ohio, but he doesn't have anything on his schedule Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Well, I actually don't leave till 5 on Tuesday. So, but if he does fly, like, yeah, and he usually those quick trips, he's home at night. But either way,
Oh,
even
okay.
if he was gone like Tuesday to Wednesday, it's not that big of a deal. But it's like I refuse to ask for help, which is silly. It doesn't. And I told Justin this. I was like, my dad doesn't have to do it my way to be an okay way. It's
Mm.
fine. Just if she goes to bed at 8:30 instead of 8, like whatever. It's fine. So I jumped on board and now I get to go and I'm super excited and it'll be fast, but yay.
Well, I think we were talking about the new world of Two WIT. No, like the next thing we want to do. So we had some get to know you time for a while there. We had some what did I learn
Mhm.
recently about Salesforce, which I mean we can still talk about too, but maybe it's just because I'm jaded, not jaded. Currently in the mix of it, that I think it'd be interesting to talk about like throwback moments, kind of. Maybe no one
Mm.
else will care, but I definitely, in moving in, have gone through some stuff and found some real gems of a variety of Salesforce logos. And
Like release logos?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
sorry, no, like Salesforce logos. Like force.com, like the cloud
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the blue outline and then the real focus on the sassy red
Mhm.
strikeout, no smoking, no software. So I don't know. I was just thinking about, I think I was having conversations recently about how I think one of the big changes right now or over the past few years is people are intentionally deciding to join the Salesforce ecosystem as opposed to, I guess, the era of accidental admins that ended up in the ecosystem.
Mhm.
And, like you and I found each other through a connection on a comment thread, that then you're you're meeting all these different kinds of people that you maybe wouldn't have met before because Salesforce can cross industries.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I took admin 201 in
When it
whew,
was called Admin 201, because now it's just admin.
oh, yeah, with like the big printed book, with the exercises and stuff. Uh-huh.
Oh, I love me a workbook.
I know. I thought about saving it, but I was like, even for the parts that are still true, I'm just going to Google it. Like sometimes
Yeah.
you still have to remind yourself about the org wide defaults triangle.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
but I get so I'm trying to think of what year it was because it's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That's just crazy talk.
I mean, it was only 7.5, 8 that I was, working from workbooks.
Oh yeah. No, not even the work, but just that it's been that long that I've been doing this. But
Oh.
um I was
Oh.
fortunate enough to take a course that was taught by I want to say a Blue Wolf contractor teacher person. And I got to
Oh,
take
I
the
took the
whole
class. That's right.
week
I've done
long
that.
course. Yeah, which I personally really enjoy. I think there's certainly something to be said for um, self-taught learning, but I'm sure you're surprised, big questioner, I'm a talker. And just to reason certain things out. Like I just don't want to read, blah blah blah, because then that's memorization. Like I want to ask questions and kick at it a little bit, so that I can reason it out to myself
Well, I
later
can't
on.
just memorize if there's no why. My brain won't retain if there's not a why, or I can visualize like, okay, maybe I don't totally get the why, but I've done it before and I can see it in action. If those two don't exist, I can't just memorize. I couldn't just memorize. If you gave me all of the answers to PD1 right now and just memorize it, I'm literally incapable of it. Just can't.
Well, I think that's too why I feel like I haven't taken one in a while, but I've had success with certifications is because I've taken ones that relate to things that I've done so that I have that capability. And that's a really different approach, I feel like, than some people who are trailheading up and taking the sessions and getting certified without the experience. It's an interesting balance.
Well, I do remember taking that admin course, and
Mm-hmm.
for a week, there was still, because I was so green, that I was like, wait, what is happening? And then I would say months later, I thought, wow, that class would be so great if you'd been doing it for a little bit. But I also see the benefit in doing it when you haven't done it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I can see both for both.
it can go
That's what
both
both means.
ways. Mm-hmm.
Both for both. That's what both
That's
means.
that's what both means.
I
Um,
remember I had that
mm.
conversation on the podcast today. I still remember my thoughts when I first logged on. Do you? Your inner monologue, or did it not exist then?
No, oh, I'm sure it was there. I think I had also moved. I had a lot of changes at the time, so I think I probably was just over. I mean, I had just moved to Boston and started as a support rep, logging cases and learning like a new job and what I was even doing before I became an admin. So I think I don't remember first logging in.
I had moved from that customer service department and their green screen system, and they just implemented Salesforce. We all weren't totally using it. So I moved over to admin, and it's classic. And I logged on and I was like, wow, this is like a busy LinkedIn. Just busy. There's side shit, there's right side stuff and left side stuff, and there's middle stuff and side and top bar stuff. Yeah.
Just a
And I
little
was like,
visual
whatever.
anxiety.
I was like, ugh, what the hell's going on here? So much shit. I mean, from
Interesting.
green screen, where the coolest thing it does is remembers your keystroke so you can get ahead of the thing. Like, that's the
That's
coolest
a
thing it does.
comparison. That's really
Right.
true.
And it was like a contest, like how many screens can I get ahead with my keystrokes and have it be right?
That's funny too. So then for Lightning, does that translate to you being a cozy viewer or a compact viewer? I'm teasing.
I was like, I only know that for Gmail.
What? No, that's for Lightning. Like two Oh, see, now this is I learned moment.
Let me
So
see.
we're really just bringing it all back.
I don't know what I am. I am compact.
Yeah. So you've
Now,
got
hold on, let me go look at comfy.
gives you more white space.
I don't like that. Do I
Now,
like that?
now you
What's
want it
happening?
to be busy.
I need all my shit in
How
one
things
screen.
change. Can I have all these objects in one
Yeah,
screen, please?
100%.
Thank you.
100% need compact. I need as much as I can see in one screen. Oh, wow, you're right. That totally does change. Or did. Has. Is. So yeah, apparently I need compact. I want to see it all in
Okay.
a very condensed area.
My, how things have changed.
You want to hear something funny?
Always.
So you segued earlier, and then we just didn't do it.
I know, but then I couldn't decide if that was because you didn't want to talk about it anymore.
I was cry laughing about pellets.
Oh,
It was
well.
cracking me up about,
I mean, if you want to bring it back.
what do they eat, my butt? Yes, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. Don't really know why. Everything keeps failing. We'll see how far I get. So, in addition to taking the ADHD medication, I have decided to try the hormone pellets. After you turn 40, hormones decrease, thyroids decrease, and by conventional medicine, I'm fine. Like everything's fine. Like I'm within normal levels. But I went to a functional medicine doctor, and Josh and I both had some blood work done. And, kind of the thought process was, yeah, you're fine, but, things could be improved with some supplements. some DHEA, I did some prescription or have taken some prescription vitamin D, which has been helpful really too for like immune system and, me trying to mitigate the autoimmune disease. And so we both did it, and it's only been like, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, but I definitely can tell like I'm sleeping better. My energy level is better. Like stamina from like working out is better. Josh feels different, and it's kind of a far cry from, not too long ago where I was like, I don't want to take anything. I just want to be all natural. My body's a temple. To now where I'm like, what you got?
Tweak it. Let's
Yeah, I mean, like,
optimize.
optimize for sure. So I am enjoying this. I'm enjoying trying. I see some difference in, I guess, some more like muscle definition in, yes, I'm still working out the same, but I also feel like workouts have been better. I don't feel like that general malaise that can come in the afternoon, like, oh, I'm kind of tired. It was a long day. I still feel energized just in general.
So can we talk about the logistics of this? Is it like under your skin?
Yes. So she cut a little hole in my butt and then like put the pellets like under the skin,
Okay.
like fish food. So I've got vacation fish butt.
Of course you do.
Yeah, so not very long into it. For me, it would be every 4 months. I think Josh's is like 6. I've done the research on it. I have talked to friends that have it done as well. And I guess I'm a fan of just feeling better. Like, yes, you're not going to feel 21, but to feel like energized and happy and up, and like you don't always have like, I just feel so tired all the time, or I don't know. I just feel a little bit more like go get them. And the sleep thing has been amazing. I mean, she did give us some like melatonin too, which is not kind of we've always had some melatonin, but I feel like everything's just a little bit better. Like workouts are better.
Are you? I feel like you're in like the tiger blood
sleep
phase
better.
of Whole30.
I don't know what that is, but I'm in.
Oh, it's basically
Adonis?
no, it's like sugar dragon is the beginning where your body's like getting rid of the old crap. And then like once you really get in the groove of it by like week 3, that your body's just like pew, 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 firing all those cylinders.
Yeah. I think the fact that being able to sleep so much more restfully, because that really dominoes into so much more of being able to pop up, get after your day. You don't do like the highs and lows of maybe caffeine, or you grab like the sugar or maybe not the good carbs because you're hungry. It's all been really good. And again, it's been one of those, like, I have to check in with Josh because the subtleties are easy to overlook. I could easily say, oh, I slept well. That's why it's different. Or, I had a new workout partner. She pushed me more. So I feel a little bit more like I think it'd be easy to just, I don't know, discount them without being intentional about like, really, what is it?
You've been making a lot of changes. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, lots.
Like in noticing the subtle things and like making little changes because you deserve to be happy.
Oh,
You're great.
I love you. Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm sort of in the slog right now, but that's okay. There's peaks and valleys.
There's peaks and valleys. Spring is coming.
Oh yeah?
The time of change.
You're a fan? Would you say it's one of your super favorite things?
I'm not a huge fan of winter anyways, but spring is always when we get more of the snow. But anyways, the day before yesterday, I got up and I swear to God, I heard birds chirping and I ran to the window like a crazy person and opened the blinds. I was like, I hear you. I hear you.
It's almost time.
And for anybody that has watched Frozen 2, I hear you, but I won't. Some look for trouble while others don't. Never mind. Anyways, birds, spring, super excited.
My plants are starting to bloom because they don't know what season it is. You know what that also means is it's Girl Scout fucking cookie season.
Oh, yes.
And listen, I'm ready to fight about this.
What?
Tagalongs are the best Girl Scout cookies. First of all, if you don't live in Little Brene Baker country and you have peanut butter patties, those are acceptable alternatives. But I prefer Little Brene Baker because that's what I grew up with. P.S. There's 2 Girl Scout cookie bakers. There used to be 3. And they're different, but they're the same, but they're different, you know? So
I did not.
red box tagalongs all day long. Mic
Yes.
drop.
Wait, so can I get peanut butter patties in other parts of the country?
No, they're tagalongs. If they're made by Little Bernie Bakers, they're in the red box, but they're tagalongs.
Okay.
I don't know the name of the other baker because I don't prefer them.
But it's not a Girl Scout. It's a different baker.
No. It's just like saying like there's the two Twix factories, right? The left and the right side, you know?
That doesn't help me.
Oh, that's a commercial. That's
I
like
mean, yes. But I
there's
feel like
two.
it does not help with our story.
Oh, there's like two Coca-Cola plants, or like Mexican Coke. Like it's still Coke, but it's
Oh, okay.
like
I got you. So you look on the
So
back?
well, no, just the name. They're literally named different things, like peanut butter patties versus tagalongs, like what's written on the box. But also, yes, it'll tell you the baker on the back.
That's
So
some deep, deep cut. Like
listen,
deep
I
Girl
was
Scout cookie.
my dad was a Girl Scout. Okay,
Yes.
like
That's
we
amazing.
were. I don't even. I could go down so many rabbit holes with Girl Scouts, but yes, we were super into it. So I was actually annoyed though because when I bought them at the store, like the parent paid more attention to me than the kid, but I also didn't want to be like, sorry, no, I need your daughter to earn this and talk to me because that's the point. So I didn't.
Earn your badge,
I
Girl
just
Scout.
gave them my $5 because in my day they were only $2.50. But
That's some passion about Girl Scout cookies. I dig it.
listen, I got in a whole throwdown because men typically like the Samoas, which is the purple box. Thin mints are pretty universally loved, and
Yep.
people try and go with thin mints. And I mean, I'll eat a thin mint. I'm not going to kick it out of bed. But the tagalongs, there's only 15 in the box. Like you have to ration them. You can't just house a whole
Wow.
sleeve like thin mints.
Yeah.
I clearly have feelings about this.
I'm impressed. Very much, actually.
What else? I mean, it's niche knowledge. But if there was a
Yeesh.
question about Girl Scout cookies in trivia, I would know it, probably, maybe.
Perfect. Perfect.
What else is super favorite in your life?
I just started listening to Dare to Lead by Brene Brown. So good. So good.
Have you read it before?
I haven't. I kept meaning to buy it because it has a lot of great references and great information. So I was like, ooh, I want to like highlight and dog ear. But I just like hearing her.
Hmm.
So I just got it. I was like, just screw it. Just get it. And I don't drive a lot, as you know. So I'm just making time to listen to it. And it's great. It's great for anything, but like even just being, not even just running a company, but just being a better mentor and just having these like, and it's, I don't, just really great reference points. And it's funny how every time I listen to her, I'm always keeping like a notebook of, things that I need to think of. And I'm also keeping this kind of scratch pad of a workshop I want to do internally with Arcus. And even that related to that. And I was like, oh, that's a really good point. So I'm loving it. Shout out to Brene Brown. You know how she listens, fan of the show.
Well, we could read a book again. We haven't done that in a while. Anyway.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of pressure.
Well, last but certainly not least, this is going to sound like the silliest thing, but I'm just really proud of myself that I did it. Okay. Do you, Melinda Marie, subscribe to the Bath and Body Works Wallflower cult?
No.
So I used to work there for a season. And so they have their plug-in things and they come with the bulbs, right, of scent so that I personally like them in the bathroom. I don't need my whole house to smell like foo-foo things, partially because I'm frugal and I don't want to use that many bulbs all the time. But they have some that are flashlight or like glow in the dark or like the light turns on when the lights go off. I'm really explaining. A nightlight. Nightlight. That's the word I'm looking for.
Whew, that
It's
was hard.
it's a nightlight plug-in in your bathroom, which I think is really handy, especially when you have guests who don't know where they're going in your house.
Yes.
So every time I go and I have to open them all and sniff them because I can't remember the ones that I like. Because sometimes the words sound good, and then you smell it, and you're like, no, I do not want my bathroom to smell like this.
Yeah, gardenia. No.
Ugh, there's one thing. Don't even get me started. I feel like there should be an app to track the scents that I like, and it should recommend things to me based on the
They
mix
have
of
one. It's
scents.
called Notepad.
No, but like I want it to be smarter than that. Don't get me started. Okay. Nobody steal my idea either. So what I do, they have little tags on them, and I have a place that I put them. So when I need a refill, I can actually go find them, which is novel in my house. And I just take the tags off and I leave them in the basket. So now I've got a little collection. So I sat down and I made a list in my phone of all the stinking flavors that I've bought because they had a sale. So I was able to go online and buy some that will come to me through the magic of the delivery man. And I know what scents I like, even though I'm not there to smell them. So now it's on my phone. It's in Google Keep, actually, not just in Notepad. So
Fair.
Anyway, that's my story. And now my bathroom is going to smell
Smells
nicer
delightful.
in 3 to 5 business days.
What happens on the weekend?
I don't know if they deliver. It's like free delivery.
The delivery. I thought you were trying to tell me that these scents only worked in 3 to 5 business days.
On the weekends. You're on your own.
Thanks for bearing with my technical difficulties that no one on the listening side knows, but you know.
Well, thank you for being you and parsing together all these little chunks so that no one will ever know.
I like it when you say parsing. Makes me feel like we're smart.
But I really studied hospitality management. How did I end up having these conversations? How did we get here?
Well,
next time on Two WIT. How did we get here?
Let's do previews. I love previews.
But that means we have to know what we're going to talk about next time.
No, that's not going to happen. Or a time, which is also not going to happen.
See you sometime. Until then, stay witty.